back. I'm back. You're back. Together. Been trying to get my audio good, so I'm trying to go the one fist away from the face, kind of. I think that gives the best sound. So let's see how it goes, because some of the audio in the other ones wasn't really up to par for me. All right. So today, let's talk about something random. I went to the mall this weekend. It's still a thing, the mall. I know they're dying, but there's a mall close by. I had to get my daughter some shoes for school. Plain white shoes. So hard to find these days. I love these weird looking clown shoes now, or like astronaut shoes. It's hard to find anything plain anymore. But that's neither here nor there. I know tastes change. We had some pretty crazy stuff when I was, when I was younger. Because heck, I'm almost half a century old. This year I turned 50. Getting to be old. But anyway, so we went to the mall to get my daughter's shoes. I had to get my hair cut because it was getting a little crazy. You can see it's a little shorter now. Still messy, but whatever. And the woman cutting my hair, she's young, and we were talking about just random stuff, like how things have changed from when you were little. Because I told her, I was like, when I was a kid, I used to eat SpaghettiOs. I used to like them. So one day, on a lark, I bought a can of SpaghettiOs. I'm like, I'll let my daughter try this. Cooked them up, gave them to her. She's like, nope. She did not like it. I was like, really? So I used to love those things, and now I tried it. My God, those things were god awful. So, a couple things. Either my tastes have changed a lot, which I know they have, or maybe, the Chef Boyardee has really changed the recipe. I know the recipe for a lot of things have changed. Portion sizes have changed. But, we're talking about this. She's like, yeah, the Kraft macaroni and cheese has changed from when I was a kid. Stuff like that. Then we got talking about, I guess it touched on politics a little bit. Talking about, oh yeah, I can't wait till, all these old, I don't know if you use the term boomer or not, because a lot of people like to use the term boomer for old people. I'm sure a lot of people would call me a boomer, but I'm not. I'm not from that generation. I'm Gen X. It's my generation. We have our own issues. Your generation is going to have your own issues. So, before you start hating on us or the boomers, take a good hard look at yourself. And I've known a lot of millennials and I guess the Gen Zers and whatever new generations they have. A lot of them good people. I think a lot of the stuff that we see on the news where people just losing their minds over stupid crap is just blown out of proportion, because I don't see that stuff around me, like people losing their crap over pronouns or like defining what a woman is and that kind of stuff. I digress. So we were talking, she's like, I can wait for the old people so we can get some new people in there. She's like, people shouldn't be in there, for so long, to get in there and stay in there. And I agree, as far as politics go, they should have, like, term limits. It shouldn't be a full-time job, as far as, like, should you get paid for your time? Sure. But, like, it should be like the president, serve 2 terms and get out. Let someone else come in, because you got people that just sit there. That's all they do. And, they, at least I think they lose touch with regular people, and we'll get back to that. But I just thought it was funny because we were talking. She's like, "Yeah, I'm 20 years old," and she was like, "I knew she was young, but 20." I was like, "Wow." I didn't really say anything because I think it to me it sounded like she had in her mind that when they get the old people out and they get the young people in, everything's going to be fine. Okay. I smile because it's not going to be fine. You're going to have the same things. You're going to get your young people in there, and they're going to stay in there until they become the old people that you so hate. I mean, you have what? AOC. What's that? Sandra Cortez, whatever. AOC. Look her up. I don't remember what her full name is. It doesn't matter to me. So I go through phases where I really get into politics and phases where I'm just so sick of them. I'm kind of in my sick of it phase. But AOC, she's young. She's a hard charger. She's trying to do what she believes is right. Is she naive of a lot of things? Oh, absolutely. But that's okay. We need those young hard chargers who want to change the world because, us old heads, we get to the point where we're just like, we see how the world works because we've lived it. And we know certain things aren't going to change easily. Most things won't change easily. And a lot of things aren't going to change without supreme effort. Our generation, we've tried to change things. Some things we were successful. A lot of things we weren't. But it's like I said. People get in these positions. They tend to. How can I put it? Well, think of it like at work. You have people who work in different departments. So like if you work for a big company, I work for a big company. I'm not going to name them. But everybody works in their lane, and in your lane, you're laser focused on what you're doing. Not so much worried about what's going on outside of your lane. So you're going to do what's right for you. Is going to affect you in a positive way, and not worry so much about what's going on around you, because you may not be aware of what's going on around you. I see that in work a lot. People just don't know they're doing what they got to do to get it done and get it out the door. They don't really think about what happens downstream. What happens before the work gets to them, or what happens after the work leaves them. So, in my position, I'm kind of uniquely positioned to where I see how everything connects. So I can say, hey, I know you're doing this, get this done, but just be aware that when you do this, it can affect our ability to get paid downstream. And also I'll do a video on this too. I served 14 years in the military. One thing I noticed that the higher rank you get, the more out of touch you are with, the junior enlisted, the junior ranks. The people who are out there doing the work, you really lose focus, or you lose touch with them, so you don't really know. It's hard to keep your pulse. I think that's how it is with the politicians. They don't really know what's going on with us, because they live a different life than we do, And I think that's why term limits probably be good, because they're not going to be in that position long enough to really you know, to where that becomes all that they know. Like, they forget what it is to live an actual life outside of that. And, you know, I mean, it's not perfect solution, because a lot of them work for big corporations outside of it, and they have cushy jobs and make more money than a lot of us would ever see, you know, in our lifetimes. You know, you know, don't know if they've ever known or can remember what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck. I mean, AOC does. You know, I do admire that she scraped her way in there. I might not, you know, it's kind of dumb to say that. Like, I might not agree with everything she stands for. I don't agree with everything any politician stands for. You know, she has some good ideas. Like I said, with her being a little young and naive, they're not really well thought out. Maybe she doesn't understand how other things work. But, you know, you learn. I think every politician tries to do what they believe is right. Now, the reason I consider myself a Republican is because, you know, Republicans are supposed to believe in less government intervention. And having been in the military for 14 years, which is essentially I work for the government, I see how the government works and how, you know, like, the government is just this lumbering, inefficient behemoth. You know, you've got layers of people. Things work on contracts. Those contracts are narrow. Like, my daughter had a play date the other day with this kid in her class, and I was talking to the kid's grandmother. And I wouldn't say she's conspiracy. I wouldn't call her conspiracy. No, I think she might believe some conspiracies. Is that the impression I got talking to her? Good lady. You know, I liked her. She's pretty down to earth. You know, but I think she has more of an inclination to believe that government, government. Oh, they're doing this. They got this big sweeping plan to do this. It's like, I told her, I said, I think you're giving the government too much credit. You know, there may be certain people in the government that are effective at what they do and can push things and make people and make things happen. You know, those are the guys that, you know, in history books, whether for good or bad, their names are there and they're remembered because they were either smart enough, lucky enough, you know, persistent enough to get things done, you know, or to inspire people around them to get things done. Heck, even Trump, as polarizing as a character as he is, was able to get a large portion of the country behind him. You know, that's how he got elected in the first place, and actually get some stuff done. You know, and people like to say he's the worst president in the history of the United States to date. I don't know. He's done some crappy things. But heck, Biden's done some crappy things. Obama did some crappy things. But you know what? Every single one of them also did some good things. You know, it's like this polarizing thing. You know, you get a Republican president here, and Democrats are gonna say, "Oh, this guy's horrible," blah 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 blah. You know, talk about every bad thing he does. Will not once mention a good thing he does. And the Republicans do the same thing. You know, I get sick of it. Republicans are like, "Oh, this Democrat here," you know, like they like to make fun of Joe Biden being like this senile, child predator kind of thing. You know, I don't think he's a child predator. He's more of like the creepy grandfather, creepy old man, almost like, what was it, Herbert from Family? Would you like some popsicles? I mean, not so bad, but he gives off that vibe. If you see there's videos of him out there, and, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's innocent. Who knows? I don't know the guy. But, you know, the way the internet and those videos out there and people taking things out of content, they can really make him look like a pedophile if they wanted to. And people have tried. But, yeah, like politics are sort of, people get in there and they just sit there. They like the paycheck. They like, I'm sure they get stuff on the side from people who vote a certain way. Was the point, like in the past, Republicans and Democrats used to be able to work together. It seems like the more the years go on, they don't even want to come together to try and find common ground, and that is it's infuriating. You know, it's like that's why I don't watch debates. You know, I tried watching them. I really did. But it's a waste of time because all it is you got the Democrat over here and a Republican over here, and the Democrat is saying how every bad thing in the country is the Republican's fault, and the Republican is saying how every bad thing in the country is the Democrat's fault. And it just goes back and forth, and there's no it's like an hour-long debate, and all they're doing is just blaming each other or each other's parties for all the bad things in the country and trying to take credit for all the good things. Democrats have done good stuff. Republicans have done good things. So why do we gotta be like that? You know? Just, I don't expect you to believe in everything that I do. And I'm not going to believe in everything you do. Just try to do as much good as you can for the majority of Americans, you know. And it's not going to, you know, what might be good for me might not be good for someone else. Or what might be good for them might not be good for me. But you know what? I try to live my life, you know, like, I try to come at people and treat them first with respect and courtesy, and try not to inconvenience them, you know. The things I do, like for some similar driving on the highway, you know, there's a correct way to merge, you know. So, you know, if there's heavy traffic and there's people trying to merge, you know, back off the person in front of you, let a car in there. That's how you do. You let one in, the guy behind you lets another one in, and it comes together. But these days, everyone's just like, they ride up on the ass of the person in front of them, don't want to let anybody in. It just makes things worse. You know, you're inconveniencing other people. You know, and I don't know, you know, it's, you know, I try to get over. I just don't, I feel like nowadays people are more out for themselves. They don't care about anybody else. And that's, I know it's a generalization, gross oversimplification. There are plenty of good people out there. You know, some days it just doesn't seem like it. But, you know, my older daughter has some good friends. You know, sitting down and talking with them. You know, they're young. They might not be as wise. But, I mean, they're late teens, early 20s. Don't expect them to be freaking, you know, the Dalai Lama or somebody, you know, or Buddha. They're still gonna live their life. They're young, dumb. They're gonna make a lot of mistakes, like I did. You know, hopefully they'll learn from them a little bit quicker than I did. You know, but yeah. So maybe we'll just close that here, because that was kind of a ramble. Maybe next one I'll try and talk about something more specific. Like, I mean, heck, 14 years in the military, I could probably do multiple videos on that, just for different parts. But, you know, yeah, maybe that'll be one of the next things I do. We shall see. So I hope you enjoyed that. And,